The wind swept across the quiet main street of Dry Creek, carrying dust, old leaves, and the faint chime of a saloon piano. The morning sun had just climbed over the ridge when Sheriff Walt Bishop rode into town, his boots coated in trail dust and his eyes sharp as flint. The man he came for stood beside the old well tall, broad-shouldered, and weathered like leather left too long in the sun. His name was Eli Carter, a widower with twin girls who clung to the hem of his coat like two frightened kittens. "Eli," Sheriff Bishop called, dismounting. "You're still here." Eli tipped his hat, his voice steady but low. "Don't have much choice, Sheriff. This town's the only place left where my girls can sleep under a roof." The sheriff folded his arms. "You're a good man, Eli. Folks know that. But you also know how it works here. Every man in Dry Creek's got to settle down, raise a family, help keep this place alive. The town council wants order. No more drifters, no more widowers living alone." Eli looked down at his daughters, Emma and Ella, both with the same golden hair as their late mother. "My girls are my family," he said quietly. "That may be," the sheriff replied, "but the town sees it different." "They want you to take a wife?" Eli's jaw tightened. "And if I don't?" Walt sighed. "Then I'll have to ask you to leave Dry Creek. Law's the law." For a long moment, the only sound was the wind tugging at Eli's coat. He'd already buried one woman, his wife, Mary, who died 3 winters ago in childbirth. He'd vowed never to let another woman suffer because of him. But now, if he didn't choose, his daughters would be homeless. That evening, the sheriff hosted a gathering in the town hall. The place was filled with whispers and the scent of lilac perfume. Women from all over the county came, widows, young ladies, a few mail-order brides hoping for a better life. The sheriff clapped Eli on the shoulder. "You don't have to rush it. Just look around. Choose any woman you want, Eli." Eli shifted uncomfortably, his eyes sweeping the room. He wasn't a man used to choosing. He built fences, mended saddles, broke horses, not hearts. A few women smiled shyly his way. 1 or 2 fluttered their fans, whispering behind gloved hands. But Eli didn't move. His daughters, sitting near the back on a wooden bench, watched their father silently. They could feel his unease like a heavy blanket. Then, the door creaked open. A young woman stepped inside, plain dress, hair pinned in a simple knot, and eyes the color of river stones. She looked tired, like someone who'd walked a long road. She paused, uncertain, as the whole room turned toward her. Eli noticed her too, not for her beauty, but for the sadness in her eyes. He recognized it. He'd seen that same look in the mirror for years. "Who's that?" Someone whispered. "Her name's Clara," the sheriff said softly. "She's been working over at the old widow Hanley's place since spring. Came west from Missouri after her husband died." The room went quiet again. Clara found a spot by the wall, away from the others, and folded her hands. She wasn't here for anyone to choose her. She was here because she'd been told to come. The sheriff nudged Eli. "Well, go on, make your choice." Eli stepped forward slowly. His boots echoed in the silence. Every woman held her breath. But before he could speak, a small voice piped up. "Papa," said Emma. Everyone turned toward the twin girls. Emma was pointing straight at Clara. "That's her," she said softly. Then Ella nodded, her little voice trembling. "Papa, that's her. That's the one." A murmur rippled through the room. Clara blinked, confused, as 2 small girls ran toward her and wrapped their arms around her skirts. She looked down in shock. I don't understand." Eli froze. "Girls, what are you doing?" Emma looked up, her blue eyes bright. "She's the one who helped us when the storm came, Papa, remember? By the river?" Eli's brow furrowed, and then it came back to him. Last spring, during a flash flood, he'd come looking for his girls who'd wandered too close to the riverbank. He'd found them safe, wrapped in a dry shawl, with a woman sitting beside them in the rain. Clara, she hadn't said much then, just smiled softly, handed him his children, and disappeared into the woods before he could even thank her. Now, here she was again. The sheriff cleared his throat awkwardly. Well, seems the girls made your choice for you. Eli looked at Clara. Their eyes met, and in that single moment, neither of them spoke, but something quiet passed between them. A kind of recognition. A shared ache. Clara knelt down beside the twins, brushing their hair back. You two remember a lot for being so small, she said gently. They remember kindness, Eli said, his voice rough. In the days that followed, Dry Creek buzzed with talk. Eli Carter's finally taking a wife, the townsfolk whispered. And it's that quiet girl from Hanley's farm. But the truth was, Eli hadn't proposed anything yet. He spent his days mending fences, helping Clara fix her porch steps, and learning that sometimes words weren't needed to build something lasting. Clara helped his girls with their lessons, taught them songs, and made them laugh, a sound Eli hadn't heard in his house since Mary died. One evening, after supper, Eli stepped outside and found Clara sitting on the porch. Sewing by lamplight. You don't have to keep doing all this, he said quietly. You've got your own life. Clara smiled faintly. Maybe I like being here. He sat down beside her, watching the stars peek out. I don't know if I can give you what you deserve, Clara. I'm still broken in some ways. She looked up, her eyes soft. Maybe that's what we have in common. The twins peeked from the doorway, whispering and giggling. Papa's talking to her? Eli turned and chuckled, but for the first time in years, there was warmth behind it. A month passed, and the sheriff came riding out to Eli's place. Well, Eli, he said with a grin, looks like you made your choice after all. Eli looked at the twins playing in the yard with Clara, laughter echoing through the air. I didn't, he replied. They did. Walt nodded. Smart girls. Eli smiled faintly. Smarter than me. That night, under a pale gold moon, Eli stood outside Clara's little cabin. He knocked once, his hat in his hands. She opened the door, surprise in her eyes. Eli? He swallowed. Clara. I never thought I'd say this again, but I can't picture this town or my life without you in it. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, Are you sure? He nodded. For the first time in a long while, I am. The next morning, the whole town gathered by the church. The twins carried wildflowers instead of rings. And when the preacher asked if anyone objected, even the wind seemed to hold its breath. When Eli took Clara's hand, it wasn't out of obligation, it was out of quiet gratitude. The kind that grows after too many lonely winters. As they left the church, the sheriff called out jokingly, Guess you finally chose Carter? Eli looked down at his girls, who were skipping beside Clara, their little hands clutching her skirts. No, he said with a soft smile. They did. Moral of the story. Love doesn't always arrive with thunder or grand gestures. Sometimes it's chosen by the smallest hearts, the ones who remember kindness when the world forgets.